Hey, this is Caenen. Today I just found out how to reproduce this one Sion Q bug that has been bugging me for, well, at least half a year, and that is in the game for at least a year. But, well, based on my findings today, probably even longer. So, what ends up happening with the Sion Q bug, and for those uninitiated, I'm going to show off what I mean. A Sion Q bug is, well, a bug with two parts to it, basically. A first Sion Q bug, and I'm only gonna refer to as the Sion Q bug in this case, because it used to be referred to that way because it was the only big Sion Q bug, except for like the hitbox, but that's a hitbox bug. Anyway, when you cast Q for under 1 second, you get a swing Q, obviously. This swing Q can fail to hit the right direction, the direction of the indicator down there, with a proper setup, with the reproduction I'm going to show off in a moment. The second Q bug is the bug where the slam, the knock-up Q, can completely fail to hit every single target in its area, or a part of that target, which I have a few videos of, which are kinda confusing actually. Which is also the reason this bug has been so hard to reproduce, or to find out how to reproduce, but it ended up as kind of what I expected it to be, but with one more stage, which is the E-buffer. Well, what is the E-buffer? The E-buffer is, I'm not gonna actually call it mechanic, but it's basically a mechanic with Sion's E and a lot of other skill shots and abilities in League of Legends, where casting the ability will lock Sion in place for just a moment. As you can see, I'm using a movement command, and the movement command is being buffered and then executed once the E finishes. And you can also buffer your ultimate with it. If I press E, R directly after each other, the R is queued up and will only be executed at the end. So why does it cause issues? Well, it causes issues with every champ, and so it causes issues with Sion. It turns out apparently buffered spells only check if they can be cast at the start when they are buffered. So this leads to things like auto attacks during stuns. It leads to cases like Caenen being able to use Q or E while being stunned, silenced, snared, whatever. And Sion's ultimate can also be used while being snared at the end of the E buffer, which I also have a video about, but well, that's part of the bug list, you can view it there. Anyway, it also has, I've also seen a video where a Sion could flash while being snared because of the E buffer. Anyway, the Q bug is directly connected to the E buffer. While you can make Sion turn the wrong way, I'm gonna explain what I mean with that in a moment, and bear with me so I can reproduce it again. If I move in the wrong direction during the Q, if I move like to up here, I'm using the Q at the wrong time, Sion will charge up in the wrong direction. However, the Q will correct itself, which is awesome actually. Well, that isn't a Q bug. Why does it correct itself? I don't know. A failsafe, maybe one attempt to fix the Q bug stealthily already, I don't know. Anyway, it is really often that this happens. And, well, it goes off in the right direction. There's no bug right here. Except for like a visual bug, but that's not the important part of this video. So, what ends up happening if I include the E-buffer bug in this? This auto-corrected itself. This happens. I can swing in the wrong direction, suddenly. Sion will release the Q in the direction he is facing instead of the direction the indicator is facing. And it will always release in the direction Sion is facing. He doesn't need to do 180 degrees angle for this. I failed this one. I did another 180 degrees. Give me a second. Nope. Nope, sorry. Well, this is this kind of effect. If you try to show something off, it's never gonna happen. Nope. Nope. I like that. It's not 180-degree angle. Anyway, it can happen with any angle. So, that is a Q swing bug. Now, I have actually seen that happen before, like 3 years ago on Twisted Tree Line, where I got snared and my Q went off in the wrong direction. Anyway, I've never seen that kind of bug again. However, what still is a bug to this day, and I have no idea when it was introduced, but it is here for more than 1 year, which you can see most often highlighted in the Q bug here, because that's the Q bug everyone is talking about when they mean the Q bug. The big boy is when you charge your Q for 1 second, and I have not been able to recreate this bug charging more than 1 second, so your 1.1 second Q seem to be safe. Completely safe. They will never bug and you will never have a problem with them. So, what ends up happening for the Q bug right here? Well, you basically go off with a swing Q that's going in the wrong direction, and you complete it for exactly 1 second. And what also seems to be the case, the Q seems to more often get, well, corrected this way. So, what I ended up finding on the PBE was, when I casted my Q just before Sion reached the end of the movement trajectory I gave him during the E buffer, the Q would always bug. I had 3 recreations after another on the PBE, which is insane for this recreation. That chance is insane. So let me try to recreate it on the live server. I have much less ping because I'm in EU West. So let's try. E. Nope. Let's try again. Nope. Nope. Well, I released too early. This could have been a bug queue. I released too early, but it auto-corrected itself anyway. Nope. This looks correct. Alright, perfect. Yep. I'm not sure if I actually reached the end of that directly, but what you could easily see is Sion kind of slided over the ground right there while going from the first Q animation to the second charge Q animation. So let's try to do it again. This was not the correct one, because Sion already reached the end of his movement trajectory too early and he tried to attack a clone. That's why it didn't fail, because the E-buffer movement was already over, but after that we got an actual one. And what you can see is, yeah, that's gonna be one. It will always have Sion kind of slide there. I wasn't sure if that was like caused by my ping on the PBE little. Maybe it is actually caused by ping, but it seems to be the same kind of slide on both servers, so it might not actually be it. And what you can also see is it appears to not hit any of the other dummies. Wow. That is odd, because first bug, I can recreate it again. Second. Nope. Well, it actually hits whatever it is swinging in the wrong direction of. So this doesn't seem to hit anything. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Oops. But it doesn't seem to hit this one either. So it seems to completely fail to hit. And I'm gonna try to recreate it with longer than 1 second Q. And I've not been able to recreate it. Like, see, it did a slide, but then it seemed to correct itself. which is kind of cool. If this bug was even more common, because it could happen at any charge duration of the Q after 1 second, it would be even worse. So, well, at least that doesn't happen. Nope. Nope. I mean, it went the wrong way, but it wouldn't happen. Nope. No, I suck at it again. Nope. This could have been one. Apparently it went the correct direction again. So as you can see, it's not easy to recreate this. You kind of have to get in the flow. This is one. Alright. Yeah, this has bugged people like me, Tortorella, other Sion players. I've seen it on streams. I have seen it on other Sion who did not actually stream, and it's really weird. I have a few clips assembled in the backlist. Otherwise, that's about it to the Q bug. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking your time. This is, well, I'm not fast explainer, as you might have seen. So yeah, e-buffer is definitely a problem. Buffers are not only a problem on Sion, but probably also on other champions. I have no idea what the solution for that kind of stuff should be. But whoever is tuning in here, and I'm not sure if any writer will see this, I'm not sure whoever will see this. If you are a Sion player, you now know what makes a Q bug happen and how to look out for it. If you are in doubt your Q will bug, you have to just charge for 1.1 seconds and it will not bug, because the Q updates itself like every 0.1 seconds with the damage, and probably also the hitbox in that case. Yeah. I have released Qs at 1 second more rarely, since I, well, expected this kinda being the problem, and it had worked for me. There's also using the S key to stop your movement, which also appears to reduce the rate at which this bug appears, and it is a rare bug. You'll not always have this bug happen, but if you're in a close fight, you either person, you try to get a little bit away. A sec. Nope. This is exactly where the bug happens. This is exact one, and that's the big issue. It actually does happen whenever you want to do a combo that is somewhat common on Sion, because you can't charge up a Q when the enemy is just in front of you. He just walk through you and deny your Q, which is good counterplay actually. So yeah, that's about the Q bug right here. It's an e-buffer bug. It has tormented many souls, and this is how to recreate it, and this is what you have to do to not get hit by it. You have to watch out for the e-buffer. Thanks for watching this. I'm gonna do a few more things right here, but if you were only interested in the Q bug, that's, well, about it right here. So another thing I'm gonna cover in this video right here is the Sion Q. The hitbox, well, it is known, it's infamous for being wrong. Well, kinda wrong. Since I've played Sion for really, really long, I'm pretty sure this Q bug, let me see if I can really use it. Yep, that's gonna hit. This hitbox bug isn't, well, it wasn't here forever. I'm pretty sure. It has only been introduced undocumented in a patch in mid-2016. So yeah, what did it change? Did it just add a little bit of hitbox in front of it? Well, no. No, it didn't just put some hitbox in front of it. It might actually been part of the bug fix where if you just did a snap Q, it would have hit the enemy at the end of it. But I'm not sure about that. I'm not exactly sure how the queue is coded. At least the hitbox of it. So yeah, whatever caused it, it did not just add hitbox at the tip of it. It also removed some of the hitbox, because before you could hit people like this. This will hit. This now won't. Now people standing inside of you or just behind you will no longer be hit. Which is actually not that bad, because that's counterplay. The side of Sion's hitbox is also pretty fair. See the difference? This is in the hitbox. And you have to notice target dummies have quite a big hitbox. Anyway, now this would be in the hitbox for anyone, and the problem is right now I'm also going for bad terrain right here, so I'm gonna show it off from up here. Well, that was in the hitbox, obviously. This is also kinda in the hitbox, right? Well, is this an hitbox? The game says it is. I'm pretty sure this didn't used to be part of the hitbox. The hitbox was pretty sharply stopped just before the red lines reached their peak. And Science Q is also like a trapezy shape, so you can hit people like this. You can actually extend the range a little. I don't know if this is... Oh, this is in the hitbox. I do know this new hitbox kinda well, so why am I complaining about it? Well, I might know this hitbox quite well, and I'm not sure if this target dummy was moved a bit too much. Not the hitbox, obviously, because the sides are correct. Anyway, while I know the hitbox really well, most people are not actually Sion one-trick ponies, and they don't. And I like my all chat clear of flaming about game mechanics. So yeah, please do anything about this, and my suggestion would be to just move the indicator forward a little bit, because that would reflect the Q change right here. Because you can be a lot closer to the indicator behind Sion. This is just in range. This isn't. That is probably the perfect one. I can't show off the hitboxes right here, but I'm pretty sure this hitbox, the target dummy, is currently overlapping with this red part of the Sion Q. In this case, let me see if I get the range correct. In this case, oops, too close. In this case, it is not. Or just really barely. Come on. And that's a bad thing. So yeah. Push the indicator a little to the front. Maybe cut off 10 units of the Q2, because, well, while you're at it, no times I'm more. Anyway, that's how the Q now works. And otherwise, his spells are really fair in hitboxes. The E is infamous for also having a hitbox bug, and, well, it's not been... I'm not sure if it has been perfectly fixed. It is definitely more fair than it used to be. So, yeah. That's about the two bugs I was talking about. Q bug in both variants, and the Q hitbox, and yeah. A big part of the problems of Sion is the E buffer, which makes at least 3 bugs work, which are kinda all basically the E bug making stuff work. I shouldn't call it E bug, E buffer in that case. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to my horrible English, and I'll see you again at some point. See ya.